So hi, good night guys, welcome to Papercraft. So this is some copy paper that I had, and during the process of making candles, one of the candles fell over and made mess. So instead of throwing away the paper, I have decided to try something that I have seen. So let's begin. So you're going to draw somewhat of a feather. So you have to, this is about, well, this is actually too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have one that I used as a sample before. So we're using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, and that makes it 7. So we're using 7 sheets. And you're folding it in half. Make sure that you get them aligned together. Guys, I do apologize because my neighbor dog is only barking for some reason. Let me bring up the camera further so you guys could see. I don't know why the camera keeps, let me just get this steady so you guys could see. Hopefully I can get this to stay without it only moving. Right, so 7 sheets of paper, and you're gonna draw somewhat of a feather on it. So you do a point of the feather, and that's my somewhat point of a feather. So you're gonna cut it like that. I think that I drew it too close, so I'm gonna cut it a little bigger. And you're gonna cut it like that out to the edge, right down to the tip of it, and then you're gonna do this. So you're not cutting it to go straight over, and you're making like small cuts in it. You don't want to cut it off. You're just cutting it deep enough where it could give you the pattern that you need. So if you want to do it 2 sheets at a time or whatever, you can, but this is my short version of doing this, because it has to be a short vlog, not be a long vlog. So just, I think I went too deep with that one, but that's nothing if you make mistakes, because remember, this is just something we're doing to help our quarantine time. So we're working on our safe distancing, so we're helping each other out and giving each other ideas as to things we can do during this time. Guys, be safe. As you guys know, I had the flu, but I am doing much better now, and thank you for all of the messages and whatnot. My son, he has the flu and he's getting over it. He was on drips and whatever, but he has come out. So this is how it looks, like a sort of a leaf. Afterwards, it looks like a leaf. Remember, you have to cut straight down to the edge, and you're leaving this part. You're not cutting quite down to the, you're cutting straight down to the edge of this, the bottom here, but you're not cutting straight down to the edge of the top, because you still want to be able to have a very large piece to hold where we're going to make. So we are going to make our paper chandelier, right? So if this is just something fun that you could do, and if you decide you like how it is, then you can decide to do it for a long-term thing. But I'm just charging a flashlight I have here, I am going to charge a flashlight, and then we're going to use paper around it, and just, so like I said, it's just a project, see whatever. But if you want it to be a long term, if you like how it turned out when you're done and you want it to be a long term thing, you can do that. But I'm just giving you some ideas. So then you take it out. You have to take your time and take it out because you don't want it to rip. So this is how your feather would look. Isn't that lovely? So this is how your feather is. So take your time and take them out. So I took them out. So we have 7 lovely feathers. So set aside your feathers because you have the smaller ones to do. So just set aside these, and then you're gonna do it with more paper, 7 more again, but smaller. So right, I have 7 smaller sheets of paper. My flashlight is charging. I'm just taking off my stereo because I want you guys to be able to hear me. So I have 7 sheets of paper. So we're going to do the same method as before. So you're gonna fold. Make sure that they are together on the same level. And then you crease. And then we are going to draw our feather, but this time we are going in smaller. So like I said, just do the feather however you want it because I'm not a feather expert. So you're just going like that and come out some more, come in some more. Every time you do this, you have to do it smaller than before. Like that. So that's it there, and then you're following the same method as before where you're cutting going straight down, right? So just cut it going straight down. Like I said, it's to make a pattern. Like I said, you have to leave a big piece so that when you reach to the end by your fingers, you leave a big piece because it has to stick, right? So then you open it out, just the same method as you do the one before. You find the center of it, and you open it out. It more looks like leaf rather than feather, but nevertheless, take your time and pull it out. So then we have this, which is a little smaller than the ones we had before. So as you can see, it's a little smaller. It's a little smaller than the one before. So you don't want it too small. But you have to remember to separate them. I put this in the wrong place. So you have to separate them because when you're making your lantern or your chandelier, you don't want it mixing up. So take your time and set it aside. You have to separate them. Take your time and separate them all, and then set them aside, and then we're gonna do some smaller ones again. Right, so I've just set those aside, and then I have these on this side. So like I said, separate them, right? And then you're taking 7 more paper, and you're gonna do the same thing as before, but I want the leaves to be smaller than that before. So what I am thinking to do is the same method as before, but just I think that I should fold the paper or cut the paper in half. I should cut the paper in half because I want the leaf smaller than before. I shouldn't cut it in half. I should cut it about that. This length should be fine because I want the leaves smaller than before. So like I said, take your time, fold it in, and we're gonna draw it again. So you're just gonna cut out, let me measure this with a ruler for you. So let me measure the size of the copy paper for you, and you can use whatever size you have, but this is the size that I'm using. So this is 34 inches. So this paper is 34 inches. So the paper is 34 inches, right? And then I cut off 8.5 inches. I cut off. So remember the paper, let me mark it on the paper. Paper is 34 inches. So the paper is 34 inches, and I cut off 8.5. So I cut off 8.5 inches from it. Right? So remember the paper is 34 inches. I wonder if you guys are seeing this properly. So the paper is 34 inches, and I cut off 8.5. Right? And now you're gonna do the same method as before. Remember to hold this properly because you don't want to. Right, so you have the same method before, and then you chip, and then you pull them apart. Guys, be sure not to do this, because oh my god. So just continue going straight down. Right, so I went ahead and I cut them. So remember, split it in half. Remember always to keep this piece where you can. So you just gonna pull them apart. The reason for pulling them apart is to make sure that they cut properly and evenly. So take your time and pull them apart. If you can't pull them as fast as I can, use your hand like this to press so that you wouldn't pull out what we're trying to make it look like feathers. Y'all, Nikolai is feeling a bit much better because now he's playing game and annoying me. So that's it, and then we're gonna go to a smaller set. So now we have our other stack of paper, and instead of cutting the sheet like what we did, we are now going to cut it in half. So you have to measure it. Don't just eyeball it, measure what you're doing. Make sure and measure it. Don't just eyeball it. Or you can, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. But you can fold it in half and cut it. Instead of measuring, you can fold it in half. Didn't think of that. If you don't want to leave it white, you can spray paint it a color that you like, or you can get paper to the color that you like. But I have white paper, so I'm using white paper. And I don't know if I want to spray paint it as yet, but I just want to see how it looks first, and then I'll know. So fold it in half, like this. And then you can take your time and open it out and use the crease as your guideline. So take your time and cut it. Use the crease of the paper as your guideline. So we have 2 sets of paper, and now I'm gonna do this. Bend it in like you did the first ones. So gonna give it a crease, and then we're gonna draw on it our leaf-like shape. I have to call it a leaf-like shape because I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna cut this out like this, and then do this. So you're gonna do the same thing as you were doing before. Don't cut it too big. If you want it bigger, it's okay, but I think when more smaller you cut it, it's more realistic it looks. So remember, you always leave the piece where you have to stick, because you need a good sized piece to stick. More smaller you can cut it, I think is more realistic, the leaves look. So if you can cut it smaller than me, kudos to you, because when you put it, you have to fluff the leaves after you put it. So the smaller one is going to be a little more tougher to pull rather than the bigger ones. So just take your time, like I said, and pull them out. So we'll be right back. So these would be your different sizes of feathers that you made, right? Now if you want to add more and you want like a more poofy chandelier, you can add more if you want, but these are what I'm doing for now, because it's just something that I'm doing to pass the time that I saw and I want to share with you guys. But even though I use copy paper and it's white, I like a lot of color. So I was going to leave it white, but why not spray paint it a little bit and see if I can do a little pattern over it? Wouldn't that be nice? So I hope you didn't throw away your 8 inches of paper, 8.5 inches of paper that you had remained, that you cut out from the set. So you're folding it in half like this. So this is to make smaller leaves, and you're doing the same thing as before, as close to the edge as you can, close to the edge as you can, and you're gonna cut like this. You have that. So I hope you didn't show away the 8 inches of paper. And you're gonna cut. You're doing the same thing as you did with all the other paper. Be sure to put something on the surface of your tables and stick it down if you can, or clamp it down, or whatever it is, if you can, because you don't want the spray paint to go all over the place. And wear those masks. You don't want it to be dirty. I'm not gonna spray paint the whole thing, just parts of it. What is wrong with this spray paint? Oh, y'all give me a sec, because this spray paint don't want to come out the can. So these spray paints are basically what I have at home. So it's a gray, purple, gold, silver, and blue. I haven't been out of the house, guys, and I have a whole list of stuff that I want to do. You can paint the leaves if you want. That will take more time. So if you want, you can paint the paper before you cut them up, because it would be easier like that with water paint, right? But like I said, it's just a quick project that I'm doing to help you guys pass the time. So if you want, you can even pass some glue and glitter on the paper to make it more sparkly, but I'm just gonna see what I can patch up with the colors that I have. I'm studying what colors should I use, and I think that I should go with the blue, the purple, and the gold for now. I don't really like the gray all that much, so it's not all the leaves I'm gonna spray, it's just some of it. So remember, the other half of your paper, you're doing the same thing as you did the smaller one, because you just cut the paper in half, so you're doing the same thing. We are back, guys. I just had to get that spray paint off of my hands. All, as you could see, all came off. I use paint thinners, by the way. Sometimes if I don't have the paint thinners, I usually use acetone, but I really don't like to use acetone on my hand all that much, because I think that makes your skin more dry than the paint thinner. So the leaves are dry, and for the next part of our project, you need, like I said, if you have light that you could use on the inside would be better, but like I said, this is just a DIY home project for you guys to pass the time. So I don't have a light presently. I don't want to use my lantern because I use that on the table, and usually I have the touch lights, but I don't have any more because I use them out on most of my projects. So I have a flashlight. I'm just using it temporarily, and when this whole quarantine thing is over, then I may get a touchlight, depending on how everything goes. But for now, I'm just using what I have to give you an idea as to, right? So you need a cardboard, and basically the cardboard is for the top part of your laptop, right? So you can use the piece for the geometry set to draw the circle, or you can do like me and use a plate. I'm using a plate to draw my circle. Right, so you're just drawing a circle and you're cutting it out. Right, so you're drawing a circle and you're cutting it out, and so you're just cutting it out. Right, if you want, you can use a cutter and cut it out, which this cardboard is tough, so I think that I'm gonna use my cutter and cut it out, because this cardboard is really tough. You can use a scissors or a cutter and cut it out. Try to get it as close to whatever. Try to stay within the lines, I should see. Get you a sharp cutter, because this is a really old cutter. I had the other one there and I left it for a customer, so I have to buy a new one. But you all know I ain't going outside right now, so I gotta make do with what I have. Like I said, do the split before, so it would be easier to do this when you wanna bend the cardboard. Right? So make the split in the cardboard from here, so that it would be easier to maneuver the blade to cut out the circle. Try to stay within the lines so you can get perfect circle. Try your best to stay within the lines. If you go out of the line, just go back in and pass. Right, so now that I have the circle, right, so now that you have your circle, right, you're gonna use paper. You have to, I forgot, before we go to the paper, you need to make a space for the torchlight. So I don't believe the bottom is this big. Not that. So draw another circle and try don't make a cut in the like how I did for the first one, because then you'll just cut the circle and so try your best to cut the circle how it is here. This don't need to be a perfect circle, but the one on the outside needs to be, because then you would have an oblong looking lantern. If you want it that way, that's up to you. I don't want it that way. I want it straight. And the next thing is try to measure across, because I went way off and it's more to the edge more than, so that's what I forgot to do. So don't make the mistake I made. Try and go closer to, right, so it will be evenly in the middle, but I went more there, so try not to make that mistake. Like I said, it's just a project and we're all learning as we go. That is to get the touch. Now that your circle is cut, you need paper. And the paper has to be stuck going straight around here, right? But you would have to glue the paper in, because how it's paper, if you have Bristol board, it would be better if you have Bristol board. I have Bristol board, but I don't know if I should use it because of the color that it is, because my lantern is gold and I don't want to use the Bristol board. My lantern is actually gold and white, and I have yellow, pink, green and whatever Bristol board. I don't have white, so I don't want to use, oh, I see that I have white, so I'm gonna try it. So with that, I realize I have white thing, but I have a print on the other side, so I don't want to show the print, because those are things that I had from a while back, and I don't really like to use things with company logos in it, but that's all I have, so I'm gonna use it. Right. So it's this I have, right? So you need to draw for the light to shine through this. Now I'm not going to use the whole thing in this. You probably need cardboard or whatever it is, about let's do one act. What do you see? At 16 inches? Should use it at 16 inches. Let's make it 17 inches. So we're gonna do 17 inches. So you can always leave what remains for another project. Just draw a line. Try to keep your line as straight as possible. So cut it. Try to cut on the line as possible. So you can save your other piece for other project, right? And you just want to make some circles because that's what you want the light to come through from the torchlight. So just make it as big as you can. Not too big. Don't make the mistake that I make. You could draw this lighter. Maybe you can draw this lighter. And just use your cutter and cut out the circle. So use the cutter and cut out the circles that you draw. If you want, you can use, I think that I should use this and make the circles because it looks more neater this way when I do it this way. Actually, you need to leave your wrapper. You don't have to thin the paper too much because most of the paper would be covered with the feathers, like I said. But just to have a neater circle, do it with something circular. And do it as light as you can. So you just take your time and cut out the circle. Try to cut on the lines as possible.
Who else need me to have?
Right, and then you pop out the circle. Take your time and pop it out. If it's not popping out, go back over with your cutter. Try not to rip the paper. So if it's not popping out easy, that means you didn't cut deep enough. Just go back over with your cutter. Be careful with the cutter, guys. If you're trying this as a project with your kids, be sure to supervise them because you have to use your hot glue gun and you have to be using scissors and knives and whatever. So go ahead and cut out all the circles. So back to our project, I was going to use the torchlight, but then I remember I have this, so I'm gonna use this instead until I can get my piece. Now how I make the hole so big, I'm gonna have to, I made the hole big enough for the flashlight, but I'm not going to use the flashlight again. I'm going to use this. So I will have to secure this on the inside like this so that it does not fall through. So I would have to cut another circle again, right? So I went ahead and cut another circle. So I'll just set this aside where probably I can use it for other projects. But I went ahead and cut the other circle, so let's see if it's fitting. Right, so it would be like this, and I'll just have to glue it down. I'm not gluing on the lamp, I'm just gonna glue on this itself. to keep it in place there. Don't glue here, because then when you have to take out, don't glue here, so when you have to take out the bulb, it would be easy to take out. Okay, so like I said, when you're ready, you can change this piece, because this is just something that I'm just doing to pass my time. I actually want to make a other chandelier, but it would be something different. But I would also post a tutorial on that, a DIY on that, when it's time. I'm just giving you guys options. It's really hard when your glue stick is almost finished. I have a other glue gun, but I left it at my sister's house because this one constantly gives trouble, and it's at her house, so you have to actually push this in. This was the first ever glue gun I owned, so this glue gun is like probably 10 years I have this. Because this was the first glue gun I bought, so it's really old, and it's letting me know that it's time to get rid of it. But I don't throw it away, because when something happens, you can always still use this as a spare. So just let it dry. Just leave it, let it dry, and then you're gonna do the other piece when this is dry. So let the fan get it to dry. So the glue has dried on this side. You're gonna pass glue on this side, but you're not covering up where you have to take out the light bulb. You're just covering where you bore the hole to ensure that it doesn't slide out, because remember, if you're using an actual bulb, this is glass. You don't want this to fall out. Because it is paper and stuff like that, I suggest you don't keep this on for a lengthy amount of time. I think you can, but I wouldn't. It's just for now and again, like just to hang and look pretty. So let that dry, and then we'll move on to the other step. So now that we have this dried, we're gonna use the hot glue and glue this piece going straight around. So you're gonna hot glue the edge some by some, and you're gonna take your time and put it going around. Press as you go, because you want it to actually stick down. So just remember that it's hot.
Excuse me.
So just let that dry, and then we're gonna do our other piece. So you're gonna keep doing that, going straight around. My paper is sticking up all over. Take your time and apply the hot glue to the edging. Remember when you're touching it that this is very hot. Because it's cardboard, the glue will be going inside. There's nothing if some goes outside. Pull it. You need to pull and press. But like I said, be careful, because you all know this is hot glue. I am accustomed to this, so it's not gonna bother me as much as it may bother you. But if you can pull it, to keep it there, it would be better than you having to touch it. So if you can pull it to keep it there, it would be better than you having to touch it. So we are back. This is how your piece would look when you put your paper on it. Now, because of how short my paper was, I had to stick an extra piece on here. Like I said, it don't need to be perfect because nobody is not seeing this. Excuse me. Right, so that is how it's gonna go. So you're putting it to stand, and we are going to start to stick the feathers going straight around it like this. So we're gonna start from the top and we're gonna stick feathers. Right? So what I was trying to figure out is if we should put the bigger feathers to the bottom and do the smaller ones to the top. So I think that we should do the bigger ones on the bottom part and do the smaller ones on top. So let's do the smaller ones first, which these are the smallest. So we'll do these first. If you want, you don't have hot glue, you can use paper glue. I'm using hot glue because I want to finish fast. So you're not carrying it straight on the up to the where the light part is. You're just sticking it like that. It would be hanging like this. So you go ahead and do that straight around. But what I'm realizing is I should have stick the bottom first and then come up. So let's stick the bottom first and then come up. Stick the bottom first. You'll have to excuse me because my brother is playing game, and apparently when he's playing game he is deaf because he has to curse and shout and whatever it is men do when they playing game. So you're gonna stick it going straight around. But remember, you're sticking from the bigger part that you left. Stick it as close as possible so that you wouldn't really have any big set of spacing there. Okay, so stick it as close as possible. So this is how I'm going so far. As you can see, guys, make sure and keep the folds inside so that it does actually looks like feather you made it with. So this is how I'm doing so far, and then you go and stick the other one over it. So then you stick the second set of leaves over this one, right? So my battery had died on me, so I didn't get to show you guys how I did it. But you're just basically doing the feathers in layers, not in singular pattern. So I'm just having it hanging because I end up spraying some more of the feathers and I'm just letting it dry. So I just did like a piece on top of it, as you can see. So this is how the light turned out to be. And I just placed it over my bed. So it's really pretty. So that's it for tonight, guys. I wish you guys luck. I placed it over my bed. My ceiling isn't finished, so I just made like a little thing and I put it over my bed until my ceiling is finished. So that's it. Enjoy your night and good luck, guys. So this is how it looks over my bed. You all know I recently moved in my house, so my ceiling isn't done, but I just wanted something a little pretty and I just wanted to make something to pass my time. I'm sorry, it's eye clicking on and off the switch for the lights, guys. So I just wanted something a little nice over my bed. Let me put it back on. Sorry about that, guys. So this is how it turned out.